looking at the pictures on my wall. You don't hear a sound at all. Tonight tonight oh, doing a little testing. Hi. Oh my god, there's people. And I'm early. Sorry, I'm early. I was trying to test all my signals out and make sure that I was going out to the world while I'm in quarantine stream. Look, I'm wearing a mask, okay? But you don't have to. You don't always have to. So let's take this thing off because I don't need it. And we will hang it. We'll hang it over there. Hi, everyone. This is not the official intro. Intro is happening in 5 minutes because I'm still waiting for some stuff to finish up. Hope you have your wine, your beer, and whatever else you have handy. And you're enjoying yourselves. Something went wrong. Of course. Of course something went wrong. But I have 2 mics, so that should help. Yeah, we don't need to save that. We'll save it for next time. How did we get here? How did we get here? It's an interesting question. How did we get here? How indeed? take this box.
Oh no.
What box?
One of these was somebody's.
What? Fuck. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all.
So what time are they coming to leave?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want the cracks.
I have four, so private.
No, in this case, you and me, we're going to the bar.
Hey, hold on.
Olá, o meu nome é Emílio e nós estamos no Pipeline com...
Thank you. This is Level Terrace Park. When Rosie was home, and ambitions alone, and resentment runs wild, and emotions walk, and we're changing our ways, taking different roads. But love will tear us apart again. Love will tear Why is it that you're so cold? Turn away on your side. Was my timing not close? I was never so dry. And to still be appeal that we can be alive. Then love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart Can you cry out in your sleep? All my feelings exposed. There's a taste in my mouth, and desperation shows. That's when something so good just can't function anymore. And love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear Thank you. Good night. Thank you
Oh,
very
those
much.
were the days. Those were the days right there.
Good night.
So, oh, let me turn on the lights. So yeah, that was 1988. That was the Pipeline. And I've got more goodies from that era because I went deep. and not necessarily in the better part of the archives. So some of the demos and things from tonight are going to be really odd for you. Dean Harris. Oh my God, Dean! Holy shit, that's funny. Hi, Dean. Oh my God. Yes, of course I remember you. Oh my God. Dean used to be my neighbor. Right when we were getting signed. That's crazy. I hope you're doing okay, Dean. You were awesome because you never complained about the noise from the upstairs apartment. And you used to come upstairs just to listen to stuff, which was great. So, how did we get here? I keep asking myself that question. How did we get here? So, oh, you know what's funny? I'm wearing 2 headphones again. Hold on. I think I should explain the 2 headphone approach, since it's unique to my setup. Everything is being fed from the computer behind me to the computer in front of me. So this computer just basically takes the stream mostly. But when I play videos and things, I'm playing them from here. So I want to hear what you're hearing, so I have to put on the headphones on that computer. So 2 sets of headphones. There's probably a better way, but it just looks cooler when I wear 2 headphones. That's just me. I have my beer, by the way. So yeah, 1988. And I think I have a song. I'm pretty sure I put a song in there that I'm going to play later too. Tell you what. Because I have a lot. I have a lot of ground to cover. And we probably won't cover it all. So hold on. Let me look at some questions. Because they're relevant to some of this stuff. So I got to pull them up. So one question that I got asked was that when we were first starting out, or in general, I guess, did we ever lose focus and misfire, play the wrong note, etc., etc.? The answer is yes. One of the reasons why I have this anti-covers approach is that in the early days, for some reason, every time we tried to play a cover, it would screw up. One that I remember really fondly was the very first show. I tried to do a cover of Tainted Love, you know, the Soft Cell way. And instead of like, it came out like 180 BPMs, and I think I stopped everything like 3 times and it just wouldn't happen. And in the early days, it was a lot of fussing around with machines. In fact, hold on. I didn't prepare this. I never do. This part is always just... I have a book. Can you see? Anything Bucks. The beginning. Oh my. What have we here? So, they're not all in order, but... So this is when we played the Roxy in Jersey. That's when we played 007 in 1990. This right here is the first contract we ever signed for a show. It was at Rutgers University, and we got paid a whopping $15 for that. So I wonder why they needed a contract. Don't you wonder? These are really, really early pictures of us. And that's me singing behind all the stuff I had to trigger. You can barely see my head. Obviously, things changed. And some of my favorites are right here. I'll show you. Anything Box at the Pipeline, November 24th. That's the show you just saw the Love Will Tear Us Apart thing from, was this show. That was the flyer for it. And this one's always been one of my favorites too. That's when we played the loop. But what I wanted to show you, oh, here it is. Yeah, I used to keep this scrapbook early on. I stopped doing it because after a while it kind of got too hectic to try to keep up with it all, but this is something interesting to see. So this chart shows you basically effect settings and the BPMs of the songs and the programs that I would have to load while we're playing live. So it's sort of like a code. And we had a code to tell us, like, you know, this is the sound you're going to play during this part and that part. And, you know, obviously we would always screw it up. But it made for interesting versions. So I thought that, you know, that would be something funny to show you. But before I get into anything else, because I see Emilio just joined us and Mikey just joined us, and I got this funny feeling that I'm going to wind up very drunk by the end of this particular episode. But meanwhile, let's look at what happens when you come visit, and it's 1990. So now we've left Jersey and we've come back 1 year later, because we left in 89. So we came back in 1990, right as the album was released. The Living in Oblivion video had just been shot. We were on the second single. That would be Jubilation. And we wound up at the Pipeline. And this is backstage at the Pipeline. Let me find it.
Thank you. This is Love Will Tear Us Apart.
Olá, o meu nome é Emílio e nós estamos no Pipeline com o conjunto Anything Box e vós estás a ver Power Play. Vivo!
Wait, where did you get this from? That'll work.
Oh no.
Now what are we doing? What is it? Oh, somebody. No, are you kidding? No, I didn't get mine down. Just little things to throw out. I don't worry about it. I'll get mine later.
The surprise box. Anything box. Anything can be in that motherfucker.
But there's nothing. That's what the anything is. That's the whole surprise. You get oxygen.
Fuck, dude, I got 3 boxes inside my jacket here.
Or you're trying to embezzle, I tell you.
I'm trying to get rid of them. No, just kidding.
That's it. That's all we need. 6. You gonna throw them all?
Nah, well,
How come you guys didn't mail me a CD, man?
Oh, here goes the trouble.
the first time we got her, listen. This guy got 1 CD.
Hey, I didn't get shit mailed yet,
Fucking
alright?
CD?
And I got it. I'll tell you when I got it. I got it when we did this show in Los Angeles.
Why is
I got
that?
my first CD. And I got my second one to give to my mother yesterday. No lie. Yesterday
That's what I got
got
my
my
first one,
second
man.
CD.
Looks like I got my first one.
You're
Here first, man. Channel 11.
He got his first one yesterday. That's how it is. Now, don't think I didn't tell him. I go, make sure you send one to the pipeline. I give him the address. I give him the whole spiel. Now, if you didn't get one, that's fucked up. But I did tell him. DRE?
You have entered
We went to
the
DRE.
pipeline zone.
DRE told me they had to go out and buy the 12-inch because they didn't get it. Hot 97 had been playing it. Yeah.
DRE, everybody was requesting
Well,
that you
not
guys
just
know.
that. He goes, he'd heard it on 97, and he goes, wait a minute, 97's playing a record that we should be playing. How did 97 get it? 97 had it for 3 weeks on the shelf doing nothing,
Yep.
and DRE never got service. So we were pissed.
How was
That
the interview?
creeping sounds like funny.
The what?
How was the
Oh,
interview?
they were so
You
good.
have entered the pipeline zone.
They're great, man.
We can move my image to the left.
We had a great time
We
up
can
there.
move it
They
to the
loved
right.
us.
We can make my voice louder. We can make me sound like a little girl.
He did that last time, too.
There's Corey this time, too. Ready, dude?
Let's go, man.
You all
Let's put on
set,
the
people?
show.
We're all set.
Hello, Mr. Disco.
Give me a leather jacket.
Come on.
What? No, you don't say that. This is a new one, guys. There's been a lot of talking from the town where I come from. All my friends are saying things which make me doubt sincerity. What is the meaning of the truth or a lie? What is the meaning of the things we feel inside? I found the In looking at your eyes, the feeling of love swells within my soul. Every word that I say has no meaning when you turn away. Why do I stay here when I feel this way?
my God. So let me enlighten you on what you saw. Shit, where do I start? So, as you can see, in the interview, well, that's not the interview. I have that too. That's really funny. But this is backstage, and the only people back there at that moment were Nelson, obviously Emilio, you were there, and Danya and Paul were there, and we had been at it, like we'd been fighting. So the reason that we'd been fighting was that we had just gotten one box of CDs, and it had taken Epic probably about 4 months to get it to us. So we were literally fighting over a box of CDs that we were supposed to give to friends and family. And think about it. We left Jersey. We come back. It's our homecoming night. And everyone and their mother wants a CD from us, because obviously these were people that always came to see us play from the beginning. So you can imagine how hard that was to be like, I don't have them. I don't have any. And yeah, that story is true. I remember being in their offices with a very succinct list. Like, this is for my mom. This is for this radio station that we've always loved out of Long Island. They must get this first. And they didn't. So that there was the beginning of the end, my friends. Already it was starting. Never get signed to a major label. Trust me. Don't do it. So where do we begin? So yeah, so you saw a little bit of that footage. So the mayhem that followed that show was even funnier. So I'm going to show that too, but I'm going to play a piece of music first, because while I set up, it's going to be easier for me. So, and I think I heard a text on my phone that I've got to answer. So, I'm going to play something, and I'm going to set it up so that you know what you're hearing. So a question that I got the last time, and I'm glad that Robert's here because he asked this question of me once too. It's that question about sampling that people keep asking me about. So the piece you're about to hear, hold on. Make sure I've got everything set. The piece that I'm going to play is actually the last instrumental piece that was on the first demo that we had. And the way it was done is really weird. It answers another question that I got. So hold on, let me answer that question. It was this question. It was from Jeff on Facebook. What brought you to electronic music? Influences, first gear, teachers, mentors, clubs, etc. I think we covered the clubs right now. Definitely the Pipeline was a big one. And I'll explain why in a second. And the question goes on. What are some cool tech ideas you've had which you didn't pursue? Although I did pursue most of them. Custom instruments, programming, novel applications of MIDI. There was a couple things that I haven't tried yet. I obviously, throughout the years, people send me stuff, so I get to try different pieces of gear and things. That was nice that I got some of that privilege at one point. But one of the early techniques that I learned was how to sample without sampling. So I couldn't afford a sampler back in 1988. That was for the big bands. So I was reading an interview like with Depeche Mode at that time, and they were using a Fairlight, and I think a Fairlight went for about 50 grand. So I couldn't afford that when I was back in Jersey and, you know, struggling to survive. So that doesn't mean I didn't use sampling or that I couldn't sample. So one idea that I had was that I was going to start this sequence from the beginning, and I was going to time it to be about a certain length, and it was just going to be just this, and then a bunch of weird drum hits all around that timeline. And then I was going to find 10 or so radio stations, tune the tuner to the radio stations, and I was going to jump between the stations randomly as I was doing the recording. And while I was jumping between radio stations, I was going to put effects on things in real time and record it straight to the reel-to-reel. That's what this is. And everything was done in real time. So I was not in control of what was going to be said by the person that I had tuned the radio station to. I was not in control of, you know, what happy accidents could happen. And you'll understand as you listen to the samples that a lot of crazy accidents did happen. So this is sampling in 1988.
And you know, we must have this clang and rattle. We must, hour by hour, relentlessly. Then
Reverend Ike, General Post Office, Box 50. Box 50, New York. That is, Reverend Ike, General Post Office, Box 50. General Post Office, Box 50, New York, New York.
Emotional stress is today our #1 cause of ill health.
Or hypocritical enough to profess belief in the existence of a supernatural worry about Freud. You don't know what you're talking about. It's absolutely appalled by
superconductivity, the set of materials that theorists, quote, proved weren't ever going to be superconducting. So they have to come up with a new theory.
The front runner appears to be Philip Anderson at Princeton University with his resonance bond theory.
He says pairs of electrons move through the crystal structure in a way that's controlled by the copper-oxygen planes. You get it. Electron state.
So the theory suggests superconductivity is related to that's actually
the other option becomes Bill Roberts, who just hasn't gotten.
Robert Hazen says some physicists prefer the electron-lightron coupling theory because it's also been observed in other.
Thomas's name occurs in the middle. Thomas must have been an average man. He wasn't the most famous of all the apostles, nor was he the most obscure.
Spoke less than a mile away from...
That's how he did sampling in 1988. So, yeah, that's how it was done. So, yeah. Hold on one second. So, I'm going to play another song. And then we'll get back to our evening. I think the beer is taking effect. Oh my God. No, I'm really enjoying this. And I really am happy that you guys are here, wherever you are. So, hi to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Oops, I said it. D Live, wherever you are, I'm probably there. And thank you for all the compliments and the comments. I really love them. Thank you. Thank you. Wait. What do you mean? Who's David Jarrett? Where's David Jarrett? I don't see him. So, I don't know. If you are in the house, David Jarrett, hi, brother. I actually miss you, man. We should talk. So let's go back to the pipeline again because it's important. One of the cool reasons that the pipeline was very good for us, for me very specifically, I guess, is that we weren't known yet. So, but we'd managed to get an audience, meaning fans did come and we did some really amazing shows there. But we always managed to experiment so we could try out different things. A good example of that was we did a show where a lot of the songs were really slow and just dreary, and, you know, we got away with it. And this is how we would explore, I guess what you would call getting to know a crowd. Like what works, what doesn't work, like how do you talk to people? Because I'm not that good at it, as funny as it may seem, and probably a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's true. I'm not. So it took time for me to overcome certain aspects of being in the live set. In other words, I was so used to hiding behind all those things that once we were signed and I had to step out, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was literally running around the stage. They used to have meetings with me and say, you're gonna wind up falling or tripping or something. Can you stay still? I found that really hard to do. So a lot of the formative years were there. Although really it was just 2, but to me it was a lot because we played as often as we could. So I keep getting these crazy questions. Hold on. I'll get back to that question about Germany. That's a good one. But so yeah, the pipeline was very formative for us. But also it was because most of our friends went. So we would see our friends there every weekend. So we would go there even if we weren't playing to watch other bands play, which is how we met different bands. So this one will be an interesting one for Mikey to see. Hold on. One second, I'm answering a text here. So I'm going to play a song and then hopefully we'll get that phone call. Did I say we're getting a phone call? Who's going to call today? Oh, I got a text. I need to make this cord longer. Who texted me? All right. So I'm going to play a song. So one day, oh God, I don't know what to do right now. I have like this side that has this really cool stuff that's old, and I have this side that has all these weird interview things. So I'm really thinking, I don't know if that really is David Jarrett, but dude, I love you, man. There's no bad blood between us. We're good. You know me. Anyway. So, anyway, I lost my train of thought. There's a lot of people coming out that I haven't seen or talked to in so long, so that has me emotionally involved. It's bizarre. My neighbor that used to live downstairs, his brother, my old record company, not Epic, when I was signed to Jarrett. That was actually a good time. Man, so I can expect Kenny Commissar to just show up any minute and say, why are you talking about Epic like that for? I can see it. Or even John St. James. Yikes. That would be funny. So, anyway, I am going to play a song as soon as I can find it. We're going to jump around in time. This is for all of you who weren't there at the pipeline. Let's see what I've got.
Fuck y'all. Wait, where did you get this box?
Oh no.
What box?
One of these.
Technology and future is the picture we'd like to paint. The truth that will someday show when there's no rain or falling snow. Thank you. Okay.
Oh my God, what a train wreck. Oh man, that was a train wreck. And I have a phone call. Hi.
Hello.
You are on the air, my friend.
Oh, this is weird. There's a delay.
Of course, you need to turn off your...
The laptop. Hold on.
Yeah. Talk to your phone only.
I'll step away.
That's Mikey.
Hey.
Calling on the line.
Hello, everyone.
So...
It's major flashback there. Holy crap.
That was, remember the sample? It was like a car crash, right?
It was. It played the hell out of that thing. And that was, I think that was an accident in rehearsal. I think I just hit something wrong in the middle of the song, but you managed to work it in and just kind of fit with the whole industrial part of it.
So, everybody on the phone, I have Mike Zazak, one of the original members of A-Bucks. So, say hi, Mike. Say hi to the world.
Hello, everyone again. Yeah, it's, man, those times, it was so much fun we had back then. And, you know, thanks to really Emilio and Bruce at the Loop, you know, we managed to have, I guess it was worked out to be a couple shows a month, and we still got a crowd in for a local band, which was quite an accomplishment back then. But says everything about your songwriting there.
I think it was just because we were so weird.
That might be it too. That and you know, it's just weird. Just doing those shows managed to get us expand a little bit. Allentown, PA, Oliver J. with the band The Blessing, Gothic band that we met. We treated 12 inches.
Hold on. I have something to show you. Wait. Let me see if I can find it. Keep talking.
Yeah, so, and then also CBGBs. We even managed to do CBGBs, even though we're not the punk crowd.
Look what I found in my little magic case.
What is that? What is it?
Look at it.
Oh my God, this O'Deal. Holy crap. That was another great local goth band that we played around with a lot, and they were fantastic, very, very heavy Joy Division influence, and really great band and great guys, them, and Belisardi's, fellow Newark band. Yeah, they're good times, good bands, and
there was a girl band. There was a girl band too. I think they were called Barefoot and Pregnant.
Oh yes, yeah. But somehow it was just such a different scene back then. You know, we fit in with all that goth stuff too, but then we also fit in on the industrial nights, fit in on the '80s dance night later on. It's just weird.
It's a lot of fun, man. Like, one of the things I remember about the Pipeline, and this is going back to give some kudos to the Pipeline, is I remember that we played that show with this really super heavy metal band, like really heavy. We're talking like heavier than heavy you could be.
No, it was like a
Demental
overkill thrash.
So yeah, and I just remember that those were formative years because it made us really tough. Because I remember like walking in with the keyboards and one of the guys in that band just looking at me and goes, Christmas was good this year. Toys.
Yeah. And but strangely enough, man, I mean, even though they, after the show, they still came by and gave the kudos, they watched it, they loved it too. I mean, and some of the crowd stuck around too. It was quite interesting.
It was
and
fun.
I mean, then Emilio, put us up on the New Year's Eve bill that one year. And yeah, we didn't go on until 4 a.m. Thanks, Emilio. But
we always didn't go on till 4 a.m. By the way, that's another thing. You know that's a tradition that's never ended, right? It seems like A-Box always goes on really late. Like, I'm tired of that. I'm like older now. I'm like, no, I don't want to go on at 5 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. Even 2's too late for me nowadays.
Yeah, true. Need a snack. Well, let's see. I'm sitting there drinking my hot tea, or drinking beer. I'm drinking hot tea. So, but yeah, I mean that New Year's Eve show too. I mean, just New Jersey was just such a mishmash. We played with The Undead, which was Bobby Steele, who was in the original Misfits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, punk. We played with.
Didn't you knock him over?
Yeah, I knocked him over in the basement. Poor Bobby Steele. He was on a cane, and he says cane because he has a problem with his leg. And we were fucking around in the basement beforehand, which is like, I guess, the backstage area of Pipeline. And I was running backwards. I turned around and just plastered him, laid him out. I felt so bad. I ran into him not too long ago at like a horror convention, and yeah, he remembered.
That's funny. All right,
I had a lot more hair then, but.
So I'm gonna play music, and I want you to pay attention to this track, Mikey, because it represents, I think, 87.
Oh gosh, that's shortly after. Well, I know I met you 86. Nelson introduced you, and I went to see you at some motor inn on Route 22 in Springfield, New Jersey. And you were a one-man show. That was really bizarre.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Okay.
So for now, you get the bear reel.
Cool.
That was a joke, but not really. Look at it.
I gotcha.
I'm going home.
So.
Wow.
So that was.
Tanya sounds like she's 12.
She sounds like she's 12 and she has the flu. And
poor girl.
both of us, I don't know if you remember, but so we would do rehearsals in the music room, which,
Right.
man, I so miss the music room.
Music room was great. There was the parties in there.
It was, yeah, like, explain to people that we actually had a party there once in the studio of what we call the music room, and we actually fit, what, like 50 people in there? Like, we crammed them in there, and we did a show in the music room.
Show. And then, you know, the crackheads in the neighborhood knocking on the window.
Those were the days.
Miss it.
Even the crackheads?
But, yeah. What's that?
Even the crackheads? Hey.
Oh, God, yeah.
You got $1?
$1, cigarettes.
Oh, my God.
At one time, we just came home from the pipeline. It's 4:30 in the morning. We're just sitting there drinking and listening to Fields of the Nephilim in the dark. And then
We watched a guy, like, do a
knocked on
drug
the
deal
window.
or something.
Yeah, they knocked on a window. And then that's when they were asking for cigarettes. Scared the shit out of us. Fields of Nephilim and Death for the Insane and that. Yeah, quite interesting night.
What I was, so let me speak to the world too, so that they don't just think we're, you know.
Yeah. Got it.
So in the music room, we used to do everything. We would rehearse there. I would record there. I would practice there, paint there. Mikey can attest to the fact that the floor was even painted.
Floor, walls,
Everything was painted in that room.
And
And
the flyers there too.
yeah, everything was done in that room.
The demos, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tape duplication, like everything you can imagine that a band would do, we would do in that room. So I miss it sometimes because in some of these old recordings, which by the way, I'm going to back up. So the video that you were watching, which I called the bear reel, but that was a play on words because anyway, you get the idea. There's a bear on my reel to reel, and it doesn't matter. That reel was where I've been for the last 2 days transferring tapes. Mainly because I honestly don't know, because this is a question that I get asked all the time, how much stuff is in the archives. I honestly don't know. If you count the reel-to-reels and the DATs and who knows how many other different formats I have.
Yeah, and who knows, too, if you count in all those songs that in the book that you never actually recorded, too.
Yeah, so...
It's like you wrote 6 songs a day there, seemed like, for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was one of them. And Steve pointed out that was that an early 65 million miles or something? No and yes. I think I pilfered a part of that song for 65 million miles later, but the song I just played was a rehearsal, and the only reason that we managed to record only the choruses was because we were too sick to do the verses. I think
she was saying she needed to go home.
so I think we were just doing something, and for whatever reason, that recording was nice, so I was able to transfer it out. I didn't have as good luck with the others, as you'll see, but so let's see. I've got another one from that era. Okay, so this is going to be wild. So this answers another question. Yeah, I'm going to go not in order. So someone had asked me if Danya ever sang lead on any other songs other than the one on Peace. And then there was more to it than that. Hold on, let me see this question real quick, Mikey. Because it was an interesting one, I thought, and everybody wanted to know. Okay. The decision, this is the question. The decision to feature Danya on All These Days Undone, no, All These Hours Undone.
Nobody will ever get it right.
No one will ever get it right because of Epic. The decision to feature Danya on All Those Hours Undone, the many, many hours undone, Does a demo exist with you singing it? And are there any other demos singing lead or duetting, not just backing? So Danya did have a song, and we used to play it live. And she sang basically lead on it. But early on, she was really shy, so she would only sing lead once in a blue moon if we could get her to do it. And then she would do it from the side. Once we became signed, she never actually did. She never wanted to. I kind of had to push her a little bit. I think that bears explaining that from 1990 to about 94, neither Danya or Paul sang on stage other than backings. They never wanted to be in the front. So what happened was, as time went on and we had more records, I would get tired. I would tell them, look, I got to get a break. So you're going to have to do a song, and you're going to have to pick a song and give me like at least a 2-minute break so I can just breathe and drink water or something. So that's how Paul wound up singing Soul on Fire on stage later on. And then eventually Danya started doing All These Hours on Done Live. But I have a song behind me that we worked on together in the early days. So this is from 1988. And she was going to do lead on this, and I was going to do the backing parts. And we worked it out in rehearsal, but it just never happened. We just never wound up doing it. But I really like this song. So anyway, so I'm going to play this, and we'll put it's good to have, we'll put a different bear on this time. That's not the song.
The bear deck.
No, that's me triggering a sound. Oops. The Moog is on too.
That's never happened.
No, that's never happened before. Here we go. Detached. That's where it ends.
Wow.
That's where that one ends, because obviously and it's not even that the tape ate it. If you remember that reel to reel, it was kind of faulty. So like every so often we'd be recording and like a channel would just die, but we wouldn't know it because we're just listening to ourselves in that music room and we think everything's being recorded. But yeah, I found that and I was really happy. So that's Danya singing lead. basically. And I think the words are what struck me the most, which is why I always say, you know, music is like a time machine. It's detached from the world we live in. Detached from the world we live.
Trying to remember.
We
lyrics.
do our own things for different reasons, and detached from reality. And now we're all detached from each other. So that's where we are. So 1988 told it. So
yeah, I'll go back.
So yeah, there's a lot here. So I'm gonna like rush through because there's more material and I don't want to mess this up. But I'm gonna play a little snippet of an interview we did back in 1990. It's gonna go back to that same show where we came back to the Pipeline, and this is the aftermath backstage. And they're asking us questions about, you know, the album and things like that. And I want you to pay attention to the look on our faces. I would say particularly mine, because I'm very, my face just shows what emotions are running through my head as they ask the question, but I have to keep myself in check, and you'll see that happen. So hold on and stay on the line, Mikey, because I think you should watch this too.
Yeah, but this, I don't know why I wasn't at this show. I know this was. I went out to Cali and I came back to Jersey. You know, I left and Paul took my place, but I don't remember why I was not at this show. But whatever.
It's okay. Watch this.
Okay, I'm watching.
Wait, where did you get this from?
Oh no.
Hold on. Olá, o meu nome é Emílio e nós estamos no Pipeline com o conjunto Anything Box e vós estás a ver Power Play. Vivo!
That was good. That was good.
Okay, I got that.
That'll work.
Now what are we doing?
Você será Zé, tá de televisão, caralho.
Watch the video.
Oh, you're kidding. You're going to make us do it in Portuguese? We do bad enough in English.
No, don't think that's in Portuguese, man.
Do your video Living in Oblivion. Hi, we're Anything Box. You're watching our video Living in Oblivion on Power Play. Everybody say Power Play though, okay? Hi, we're What's your video? No. Hi. We're Anything Box. You're watching our video Living in Oblivion.
Talk about doing your record. Okay, the album is called Peace.
Peace.
We spent a good 6 weeks in the studio doing it. And it was a really rough task transferring it from 2 tracks. All of a sudden you've got 24 tracks and you want to keep the same element, the same emotions that you felt, you know,
You kind of
that the
lose
band
it
felt.
when there's more tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
Things get lost, it's too big.
But we ended up fighting for 12 tracks. They were originally going to give us 8, then we got 10, and we fought for 12. And it's a complete mood. It's not exactly about peace throughout the world, although it does come in, but it's more about an inner peace, peace through oneself that you find, you know, in your everyday life.
Peace of mind.
There's a funny story behind the title. Why don't you tell it, Clark?
Oh, yeah.
The title of the album was originally going to be Decade, and when we walked into Epic and gave our title, all the people at Epic said, "You can't use the title Decade. Michael is going to use that title." And I go, Michael who?
And then we go,
Michael Jackson, of course.
So we couldn't use Decade
We
because
couldn't
he's...
use the title Decade, so we wound up using Peace.
Yeah, it's a better name anyway.
Alright, what about touring?
Touring's fun. We love it.
Well, pick it up. Say that. Well, now that we're touring, you know, it's just like pick it up. Don't just like answer my question because we're not gonna hear my question.
Touring is a great thing. You know, we get out and we get to see a lot of people. You know, we don't really get to know every place we go to because the only thing we really see are the hotels and the venues. But the most fun we have is that when we get on stage, we can be with all the people that we meet. And it's always fun to go back to places that we've played before because you get to see a lot of friends. So we made a lot of new friends.
Where are you going to be touring? Give us some dates. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
We're going for a breather now for about a week, and then we're heading down to Colorado, and hopefully do some Ohio dates as well.
We just came back from a 2-week mini tour around Texas, Utah, Colorado, Florida, and we're just dying to go back there again and make, you know, right now we're just doing short dates, but we hope to have a long, you know, tour with a bus and everything.
Yeah, we're trying to gear up for the second single.
We'll be back in Texas though in a couple of weeks, just in support of our second single, Jubilation.
And in support of our album Peace as well. So we just hope everything's been successful, and we just hope that the tours in the future are just as successful.
If we're in your town, we hope to God we'll be out.
Yeah.
We'd love to see it.
We'd love to see you, definitely.
Okay, where are your hometowns from? Where are you from? What's your background?
Danya and I are originally from New Jersey.
Yeah, we come from New Jersey,
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
And Paul here is from?
I'm from California, Los Angeles. A little something outside. I came from the sunny towns. I don't know what snow is. And, these guys will show me all the rough times. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, he was
I
a
get
pretty
to get
good
wet
cook.
and yeah, that's why they picked me up. They say I cook well. So.
Yeah, he cooks great.
Yeah, but believe it or not, it's kind of like we don't have a home now. We just go places. Homes. Our home is just wherever the hotel room, wherever the stage is. That's where we're mostly home now.
Yeah.
Because when we are at our places, at our residences, we're just sitting there, we're itching. They say, "Come on, guys, we gotta get on tour again. You know what's going on?" You know? And it's only like we're only home for 2 days. You know, next thing you know, you're out. But those 2 days they're hell. You want to be on the road.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten used to being on the road. So. And I guess that's a good sign, because that means we'll be around longer, hopefully. You know, it's like a fight to be around longer.
And we're workaholics anyway.
Yeah, we're very workaholics. For instance, when we worked on our album, we were working about 16 hours a day just to finish one track.
So last week we slept in the studio.
Yeah.
That was great.
How about a plug for Epic Records? Tell us what you like about them, why you like being signed to them, and how you got signed, all that.
Epic's great, and the people there are wonderful. They treat us like family, and when they didn't even know us.
Yeah.
I mean, they took us into their arms, and they're just helping us all the way.
Yeah, they're very supportive.
Everyone there works together. You can always just go in and they're your friends. They're not anyone else. They're not business associates. Of course, that's their job, but it's more of a network of friends than anything else. Because you're all out there for for the same purpose, to have fun.
By the way, how much are we getting paid for this now?
Talk to them. Who signed you, and who's your producer?
Kenny Commissar signed us.
He's the A&R man at Epic Records. He's a great dude. He's cool.
And basically, our producer was John St. James, and us, because we did assist, and we believe fully in production, so in the future, to produce ourselves.
We're building our own studio, so...
Yeah, that's in the works. We're going to build our own studio.
It's really small. I mean, we can't record anything there right now, but...
but it's growing.
It's growing.
Well, you could always come to Power Play. We're 24 track.
How much an hour?
50.
Sold.
Okay.
Well, up and ask for Kevin and Judy. That's us.
Okay.
That's her right there, see?
She's like, let's get out of here.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say that you want your fans and people to,
Yeah.
Anything about you or any particular message?
I want to tell them something.
This is going out to 1 million viewers, so.
You got it.
You got it.
Stand by. Just let me know when you're ready to do it.
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't ever let anyone tell you that it's impossible to do something. Just go out there, and if you work hard enough, and if you really, really, really want something, you can get it. All it takes is a lot of perseverance.
And we also want to tell you that we really love you, and we really appreciate you. I mean, it's great that you're there for us, and we never forget that. We never have fans or groupies. We always have friends wherever we go. We don't believe in that. So, you're always our friend.
That's right. We don't believe in fans. We believe in friends.
I guess the pressure's on me to say something. You know what I want to say? I want to say, Yamo be there, okay? That's all I want to say. I know it's an old early 80s hit, but
Okay, now say goodbye, wrap up and say, thanks for having us on Power Play. We'll be on your town. Keep watching Power Play. You know, give us the old stick it in.
Hey, thanks for having us on Power Play.
Ready? And go.
Hey, thanks for having us on Power Play. We're going to be in your town soon. Be there. Support us. We'll support you.
And keep watching Power Play.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, hold on.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wow.
Can I explain this? So, number one, when I saw this again, 30 some odd years later, all I could think of was that look on your face, man. That look on your face. So yeah, we were not really happy. So let me explain the situation. So you're seeing that they ask us this question in the very beginning, and I know that it's probably hard to hear what was said, but I'll paraphrase it. It's funny how they ask us what we think of the album now that it's done and it's out, and the first thing Paul says is like, it's hard to translate what we had on 2 tracks to 24 tracks. And then Donnie says, it's too many tracks. And we didn't, what we were trying to say in an innocent way was, it doesn't sound the way we wanted it to sound. And we didn't like what this person did to it. But we couldn't say that because politically we were still in the record company. So we couldn't say, like, we weren't happy with the way this came out. So, as you can see in my face, I'm deciding not to answer, and I'm just basically pushing the mic on both of them back and forth. Like, go ahead, you answer it, because I knew that if I said something, it was going to come out all wrong.
Biting the tongue.
You know how I am.
Of course.
So, I do have a big mouth. So there was a chance I was going to say something really bad, and I didn't. I held my own, but so it was funny, but it was nice seeing Emilio there, and he gives the intro in Portuguese in the beginning. So I guess that channel was really popular in Portugal at that time. I didn't really know that. So I'm gonna have to have Emilio comment on this, yeah. But yeah, it was funny. It was funny to have that moment. So. Another thing I wanted to play, and it's because I'm looking at the time and it's like, oh my God, it's getting there. This might become a 2-parter. And it's because I have neighbors. This is the difference between where I am now and the music room. I cannot be loud here, and it is a pain to be quarantined in a place where I cannot be loud. Because right now, what I want to do is just like break out and make so much noise you wouldn't believe the noise I would make.
That music room was louder than some clubs.
I know, and I miss that aspect of it. Sometimes I try to explain it, and I don't think that it comes across because no one was really there, so they don't understand. That place was about as loud as a club would be.
You had their own PA and everything too.
So it really does help to write music that way. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to write really good stuff, have it loud in the room with you so that you feel like you're in a club. Oh my God, it's the best. So I'm going to play something that I transferred. So one of the things that I found, I'm going to compare the two because I want you to see, because there was a question that was asked. I'm going to go back to the questions one second. I hope this isn't boring, you guys. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, this one. Because it's a very interesting question, to be honest, especially to the techie people. Can you explain in technical detail the remastering process? You mentioned on Binaural Repeats, that's an old EP by the way, that the Hope tracks were remastered. Where was the quality loss the first time around that is now fixed? Well, I will explain that by telling you that my ears got better so that I can pick out certain things. And it's not about the flaws that are there. It's just about the unfortunate act of recording. So to give you an example, I'm going to play 2 snippets of audio and I'll show you what that means. So I found yesterday, I transferred this yesterday, by the way, the very first recording of Just One Day. And I found it on this reel-to-reel. And Fortunately, there was no dropouts, but it sounded really terrible. So this is what it sounded like before, to give you the perspective. That's how it's coming off tape. And this is remastering. So it's not just the loudness, but it's how you bring out certain instruments that are hidden, or frequencies that are like just masked completely out of the blue. So anyway, let's play it. So yeah. So you can do a lot with mastering and remastering. Also, you can ruin things, but I'm hoping I didn't ruin it. Oh my. So it's getting close to that time. Hold on. I think I muted Mikey by accident. It's because I could hear. I think I muted you by accident because I could hear like your phone echoing the stuff I was playing. So I was like, oh.
No, I know not to talk during this song. So.
No, it's just the setup in here is it's good. It can get better.
I'm sure will.
So it's getting close to that time. It has been a while, but there's another video I want to play. So Rui was in the house. I know I saw you, Rui. So I want to answer a question about the way the three of us all got together. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but
sure.
If memory is lost in the
Do you want me to just do it?
Well, I met you through Nelson, who then became our road manager, and then you introduced me to Danya.
Correct.
And Danya used to go to the Loop. You talked to her first, and you knew that she played keyboards and all that stuff, and then you were the one that came up to me and said, hey, we should ask her in.
Correct.
And I don't remember what my reaction to that was.
You're like, what?
Because she was so young.
Yeah, and she's like, she's here playing, get in the clubs. I was like, come on, I'm using your ID. I can't get in either.
This is true. Because she was very young.
It was like that. All of a sudden, Emilio was like, I thought your name was Claude. When I turned 21 and I gave my real license for a change. But,
breaking the law. Breaking the law. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for Nelson, for the longest time,
exactly.
He just worked at the record store by my job, and he says, "Oh, and, based on the music I know somebody you got to meet. You guys will get along."
Mm-hmm.
And we would trek up there. I'd pick him up after work, and we'd trek up to Patterson. This is before I moved in there.
Isn't it funny how destiny makes us do these really weird things? I met Nelson because, or Tito or Nelson, either way. But I used to call him Nelson. So I met Nelson when through my cousins in Newark. When my mom married, or remarried, I should say, I gained cousins, and that's how I met Nelson. So, and I used to go to that record store, and he would always turn me on to records. So he was one of the first people that actually turned me on to the strange electronic music, because I was like, people don't know this, but I was like into heavy metal in the really early part of my teens. I was listening to Van Halen, and this guy that I just met says, "Here, listen to Kraftwerk," and then suddenly my mind goes,
He puts Kraftwerk up me too. I had never heard Kraftwerk either. So
so if it wasn't for Nelson, I probably wouldn't have been in an electronic band. I would have probably gone the other way. I was probably heading towards punk in some sense. So it was funny how destiny does change the perspective of where you're going. So keep that in mind nowadays and what's going on now. Oh, this mic's on too. Oh, that's good. I got two mics.
What's that?
I said I have two mics. So yeah. So I want to answer a question because it's way up there and it's a really long one, and I really don't want to not answer this question because it was very good. No, I lost the question.
Yeah, I've been standing away from the computers
So
most of the time. So.
This is to Hidden Souls. If you're listening and you're still there, if you can copy and paste your question so I can see it, because it won't scroll back to the beginning. It only shows me like the last 50, and there's like a lot. But, because I'll answer that question. So yeah, I mean, a lot of strange circumstances led to us all getting together and, you know, practicing.
It is, and I mean, just me even getting in the band was a huge just accident. You're like, oh, I got a show in 2 weeks. Can you do the show? I says, I don't play.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah, I literally moved in with you, and every day for like 8 hours, he just showed me what to do, and I was so scared to death I was going to screw up the settings, and you know, things progressed.
But we figured it out.
Yeah, no, I thought it went well, and obviously we something right. You know, 2 years there, 2 years was it? A little more than 2 years, I guess, in Jersey before we went to Cali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the question. So I want to read it.
Okay, yeah.
So it's Claudio, or Claudio. I have a question. The basic question is, I'll read the whole thing. You recorded an album in Berlin with the famous producer Gareth Jones, Depeche Mode, and now almost 30 years later, we all know there's a lot of festivals in Germany. Well, there was. I don't know about now, but like the Amphi Festival, WHT, or Marilun, which is a nice one. I would love to do that with 30,000 people each. So basically you're saying Europe is great, and they understand the electronic music scene much better than the US, which is true. Do you think you took the wrong path to stay in the US, or did you need more of a chance to go there? To be honest, to answer that question honestly, it goes back to what you saw in that little snippet of backstage where I explained that I told them to send CDs to a certain place and they didn't do it. The same thing was happening with the agencies and things like that. I would tell them that this is where we would do better if you promoted us here, and they would do the polar opposite. So if the station played alternative music and I said send the CDs there, they would send it to the pop station over here that played R&B. Don't ask me why. And I have a reason, or I think I know why, and I think it's because who produced our first record produced pop bands, and so we got lumped into this aspect of this promotion where everything went to the pop world, and we were like, that's fine. I have a strange relationship with pop, and I'll explain that too. I have nothing against it, meaning you can use pop as a vehicle to get your message out, so that's good. I like that aspect of it. But I don't like the idea or the way the pop world revolves around looks, antics, you know, all these different aspects of the pop world. I'm not into. I'm just not. I'd rather read books and be nerdy and go to art galleries. So I felt that we were more suited for the alternative side, but I couldn't get them to do this. And so one of the reasons why we never went to Europe was that very reason. One of the reasons why we never toured South America in the early days was for that very reason. I would say it, but it wouldn't happen. Now, of course, if we'd been signed today, that would be a much different story, because then I would be the one to do all the, you know, I would social media the out of it to go in that direction. So you could say I am doing that now. I mean, I've been contacting people outside the US much more now than I ever have. So of course, I would love to go to Europe. But just as that was happening, just as all those contacts had been made and I had sent letters out to about 150 agents around the world, COVID-19. So there's not much I can do about that at the moment, other than do my best to make new music, stream, hopefully figure things out and adapt, and maybe I will get to go to Germany again, because recording in Germany was one of the reasons we did it, was to get a foothold on Europe so that we could go play. And then, of course, they didn't want to release the record. So not releasing Worth was a big blow because we had contacts in Germany for stations and things, and it just didn't pan out that way. That's just the way, you know, life is sometimes. It doesn't go the way you want. But whatever direction it's taking you in, there's a reason for it. You just gotta be patient. So I think I'm patient. I stay the course. So I want to play this last song because I'm over time. I made a deal, okay? So I'm gonna play the last song. Sorry, Mikey. We will have to have a part 2 to this because there's more stuff that I didn't get to play yet. So
I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Jersey's locked down worse. So.
By the way, listen. Check this out. So Mike sent me a package and I got it. I got this today. So that's the issue I'm going to read tomorrow while sipping my coffee. Weird New Jersey. I love Weird New Jersey. I'm so happy that I get to read it. And you sent me a bunch of them. So Mikey asked me about that today. He sent me a text and he was like, did you get my package? And I'm like, it's in quarantine because I actually quarantine all my packages for about 24 hours. Yes, I do. I do that.
It's Jersey.
It's Jersey. And I was like, they're on lockdown. I'm going to just play it safe. But I'm going to play this last track, which most people don't know. Well, you know the song, but you don't know this mix. So this was going to be on the very first demo. It is technically the last recording that you, Mikey, and I and Danya made together. This is technically the last one because we never recorded on that reel-to-reel again. If you remember, we came to California and then it was me making demos by then, and then you left. So this particular track stands as the last thing that was recorded on that reel-to-reel. And it's unique. This is the track I'm going to leave you with.
I can't remember.
I want you guys to know that I really enjoy doing these, and I'm doing my darndest to make them good. So any suggestions you have, please let me know. And I will go through all your comments, and I will answer all your questions as much as I can. But yeah, it takes me about a week to prep because there's so much stuff. But at least this time, I worked a little harder to get some extra material for next week. So it'll be a little easier, and maybe I'll even do 2 next week, if all goes well.
Do another one and make sure we get Emilio on.
Yes, I want Emilio to call in. So I'm going to definitely set that up. I was going to have him do it this time, but I just knew it was going to get all crazy tonight. So I'm going to try to get him. You're going to have to go on Facebook and answer that question, Mike. Why did Mike...
Well, it's really quite simple. It's just I got homesick. I went home, got engaged to my girlfriend at the current time, which that didn't last either. So, but really, Claude, I was doing a lot of the bookings and stuff and made the connection. So got Claude where he needed to be, and Anything Box is Claude. So, and he was in good hands with Paul. So back home, I was homesick basically. So.
Uh-oh, wait, I got a call. Hold on. Hello?
Hey.
Oh my God, it is Emilio. Oh my God. We have Emilio on the line. Holy cow.
We could have a party.
We are having a party. Look, I have a beer.
Yeah. Me too. Me too, but you don't see mine.
You know what's funny? Do you remember that I never drank, right, when I was at the club?
Well, you were always a professional.
I know. Look at me now. I'm like all fucked up.
No, we all listen. The rules are suspended, so you could drink.
So, tell me, did you watch some of that interview stuff I played earlier?
I watched it all.
Oh my God, dude. We love you. You know that, right?
Oh, are you kidding me? We are a unique family.
We are. People, I'm telling you, people don't understand around the world that the Pipeline was our Bat Cave. Like the UK had the Bat Cave, we had the Pipeline.
Right.
What do you want to say to the world? You're on the air.
Well, it's definitely a privilege to be on. I almost cried when I heard Greg's voice from Power Play. Greg was a force in the music industry. At the beginning of the video world, like with MTV, there was U68, and Greg was a producer for you. And U68 was bought by the Home Shopping Network later on.
And they ruined it.
Of course. Well, I think Greg has a lot in common. The music industry is like fitting an elephant through the butt of a needle. A needle for sewing, that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's very few that make it. And then, of course, you have the dynamics, of characters in a band. You have the psychology of everybody, you have the sociology of everybody. So it's a very difficult thing for you to keep that unity for 4 people, 3 people a lifetime, look like the Rolling Stones or something like that.
Yeah. And it's also because, in all honesty, I mean, from my own life and my own experiences with the band, it was hard for us because once we joined the music industry, the real music industry, it wasn't just friends of ours anymore. It wasn't people we knew. It was strangers getting into our business. You know what I mean? Like, it was always like someone that would nudge you on the side and like, does he always do that?
Yeah.
And it's like to try to get you to have these weird emotions. So we would have these fights that came later because of other people, where we would look at it like they incited this. So it's you have to be really strong, and we managed to keep it together for a long time, to be honest. I mean, I still see Paul, obviously. He's one of my best friends, and obviously me and Mikey talk. And yeah, Donnie and I are still friends, so thank God that, we lasted as long as we did on that level, But you got to have tough skin.
Yeah, well, looking at you sitting there, when I was looking at you sitting there and answering those questions, or I'm looking at your age, and really, when you look at an artist like you, there's a certain amount of innocence that goes with that. I can see the innocence in you, and of course you end up in the mouth of these vampires, and come on, there's tales upon tales upon tales of those vampires. EMI with the Sex Pistols and so on. I mean, the stories just go on forever. And of course, one of my favorites is Alan Jurgensen, which he keeps on coming up, and he never played the Pipeline, which there was one band that I wish got to play. Was there's a few other, Jane's Addiction and so on, but
I would have loved to see Ministry there.
But if you look at Al Jurgensen, man, he's like he's our Mozart, our Beethoven today. He really is. People, they don't want to give him that credit, but I've seen that guy direct a band with the twitches from his face. He's directed. He doesn't need no wands or anything like that. He's directing his band with the twitches on his nose, on his mouth, and that is fantastic. But to go back, this is that I saw, man, Claude, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's worth billions of dollars, man. Even that still transcends in you, that kindness. So that's worth $1 billion, man. You didn't get hard or that rock and roll star. I need 20 girls lined up. One to give me 5 seconds of pleasure after another. You don't need that.
No, it's not. It wasn't in the cards for me to do it that way. The other side is that my brain is just, I mean, I don't know. I think I've been blessed because I had really lucky things happen to me that people don't think of as lucky, but they are lucky to me. I'll tell you a story most people don't know. When I was about 10 years old, I drowned. So when I drowned, and I came out of it, like I literally was dead. You know what I mean? They had to pump my stomach to get all the water out, and that changed me. I feel like a very strange transformation took place where I have a filter. So yes, I can be the big mouth and I can fight just like I'm a guy's guy. Like if I have to fight, I will. You know what I mean? Like if I have to say something, I will. But the innocent part, the part that creates, that can't be touched. That I don't allow to be touched by this stuff. It has a 10-foot wall that they can't penetrate. So that when I need to create, or I need to be in a space, or I need to talk to people or meet fans, or do the things that I do, that right. Then that wall comes right out and I don't have to worry about it. So that's the I guess what people think of as the innocent thing is just really me just basically just being myself, but I have that barrier that I keep so that I can keep that. Otherwise, you lose your innocence and then you lose the music. And to lose the music or the muse, that's a worse death than not having a record deal. You know what I mean? So yeah. I can live without a record deal. I can't live without the music. So
right, and in the end, you're satisfying. When you get hairs on your body when they raise when you hear a song, you're actually satisfying that part of yourself. You know. So you're not making records sell to the world. You're not being. You were talking about pop before. There's only so many ways you could tell somebody you love them in a pretty way. Exactly. There's only so many times. But for you to get psychologically in somebody's mind and write something like Living in Oblivion, you could play that 100 years from now. That could touch somebody. But if you could tell there's going to be 1,000,001 songs written about love, like what
exactly.
What these pop songs do.
Not that I think there's anything wrong with that, but it's that aspect of it. It's the only thing I ever hear is, I love you, you love me, you screwed me, I screwed you. I'm going to screw you back. And there's never a solution to it. Like, I don't see a solution to it. And I know I've done it too. So I'm not saying I've never written love songs, but there's another side of it where I look at life and I think I want to leave this place in a better shape than it was when I was here. And if you can eke out a different emotion out of somebody, I think that's just the right thing. I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the idea is
absolutely right, Claude.
If I speak from here, I'm hoping that someone will also get it from here and they'll hopefully understand. And it doesn't matter if they don't understand the words, but the emotion will come through. So, and that hasn't changed. I'm still that person. Even after all that.
Yeah, well, you get stronger, that stuff makes you stronger.
So I got to shut this puppy down. So I am happy that you called me. And I will hit you up tomorrow or something.
No worries. It's always great to, SARS-CoV-2 hit us, and, as much as it took from us, I think gives back to us. But I'll give you the words of one of my mentors, and he said, Emilio, it's not about making $1 billion. It's about positively impacting 1 billion people, and that's what you do with your music. You positively impact 1 billion people, buddy.
Thank you, man. That's actually, those are words of wisdom. And I think that I'll take those to heart.
Right on. Good night. I'll let you finish your show.
So,
I'm sorry. I should have called in a little earlier.
No.
It was great to hear you and Mike.
Totally. Oh, that's so awesome. And I'm glad you called. I think we cut Mikey off, but it's okay. Well, I'll hit him up tomorrow.
We lost him by mistake.
I know. I went to my phone does not do well on
Hey, love you guys. Stay in touch. Love you.
I
Claude,
love you, man.
You're the best, man.
So
Peace. We'll talk.
I'm going to
next time.
dedicate this last one for you then. All right?
Thank you.
So this
thank
is for you
thank
and the
Big
world.
Hug, big hug. Stay safe. Love you.
Thank
family.
you. Thank you. I love you. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Oh, man. What an emotional evening. Oh, my God. So this is the last recording that Mikey and Danya and I did. And this ends the show. This is a version of Living in Oblivion that probably nobody's heard before.